Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to finally be able to do my full review of the Alpha Flight Yoke and the Bravo Throttle Quadrant by Honeycomb. And boy am I excited to do this. This thing is absolutely amazing and it's priced absolutely beautifully for the general consumer. The next segment is in no particular order, so just enjoy the footage and keep your ears open. So first off, with the Alpha Flight Yoke, it's absolutely one of the best, if not the best, flight yoke out there on the market for, the general aviation sim pilot. It has a full 180 degrees rotation on the flight yoke, virtually no center detent, and the tension and resistance on the vertical axis is beautiful, making it very easy to complete those finite controls. The Bravo Throttle Quadrant, I'm never going to get that right, I'm blown away. It's better than anything I expected. I ordered this thing back in September, and I've watched hundreds of YouTube videos on it, and none of them could have prepared me for what I actually got. This thing is absolutely amazing. The versatility of it and the ability to easily swap between different aircraft, the configuration options are absolutely astounding. The warning panels actually work. Most of them anyway. Most of the warning lights do work. I noticed this the other day when I pulled my mixture back too far and lost engine power, and my warning lights came on, started lighting up. The annunciators are absolutely awesome to have. You can see it here on the screen. It's got balancers in the back to prevent any kind of rocking based on the surface that you might have installed it on. The rubber seals are absolutely wonderful to have. One of my biggest pet peeves is the dust that builds up inside the different control surfaces that we buy. So it's a real blessing to have. The contacts on the each axis have a different purpose based on what you're doing, which makes it really nice, because basically it's designed in a way that you can set it up like the real aircraft. It's not just some mock-up. My pride and joy of the Bravo Throttle Quadrant is the trim wheel. That thing is it's a blessing. It's an aviator's blessing for simulation. Trimming the aircraft is so easy now. It's so smooth. All of these switches and buttons have very nice tactile feel. The autopilot section is absolutely freaking amazing. Works just great. Here you can see the anti-ice actually turning on and off. The tension that's available on the throttle. This was one of my biggest concerns when I first saw it, because I was like, well, they only have the one tensioner against all, of these axes. Like, how well is it really going to work? How much tension am I really going to have? I'm one who likes a more stiffer axis. I like to really have to push through the throttle in order to get it to where I want, or any of the different axes, and this thing is not just going to be limited to general flight simulation, or I should say non-combat flight simulation. Where this thing is really going to shine, for example, like in DCS World, is our World War II birds. Your mixture, your throttle, your RPM. This thing is going to be amazing to have. Throw it on your left side, keep your stick in your right hand, and man, this thing's going to be awesome. Bad days of flying P-51s and P-47s are over. This thing's going to be great. All of the features on this are just blown away. Like I said, there were a couple things about it that I didn't like, but it took some finding to get them. So getting into some of that real quick. First off, there are a couple of bugs, if you will, but so far every bug that I found with it is resolved. And I'm going to leave a link down in the description below to 4 videos by RMAG, I think his name is. And he walks you through how to solve a bunch of the problems, 3 of the problems that go with Microsoft Flight Simulator right out of the box. As well, he goes through a very detailed guide on how to set it up, which is why I am not going to do one. I feel credit needs to be shown where credit is due, and so his videos are absolutely phenomenal. And so again, make sure you guys check the description down for those 4 links. I have labeled what they are. Make sure you watch them in the order in which I list them if you guys buy the Bravo Throttle Quadrant, and you'll be up and running in less than an hour. It's really, really phenomenally done. He really did a great job, and which is why I will not be doing a configuration video. I learned from him. I want you guys to learn from him as well. Make sure you guys give him a like and a subscribe. It looks like a channel just starting out. Definitely hit him up. Now I'll show you guys some flight action. Now again, just as before, just sort of watch, enjoy, and keep your ears open as I yap on. So the flight control system is absolutely a blast together. They just feel so smooth. Everything from the yoke to the throttles to the switches to the toggles, it's all positioned very, very ergonomically, if you will. Everything's real easy to get to. I didn't find any issues reaching any buttons, switches, knobs, etc. It all feels very convenient. The trim wheel is smooth, yet has enough tension on it that you can have a very nice finite control with it. I mean, just very gentle, smooth touches, and it stays where you leave it. Forgive some of the stuttering that appears in this video here. Ever since the last little update a couple days ago, which was really weird, Microsoft Flight Simulator has been a nightmare for me as far as stuttering. I'm not sure what's going on with that yet. Anyway, I digress. The autopilot functions are absolutely freaking amazing. So you have the knob on the left, which selects what system you want to adjust: altitude, vertical speed, heading, etc. And then the right knob, the right rotary, actually changes whatever the value would be, whether you want to climb, descend, change your heading, etc. All of that's being done here. You double tap the altitude. It locks you down at your current altitude. You double tap the heading button. It sets the heading bug to your current heading. I mean, just like what we wanted. Now, this will bring me to a couple of my gripes. Okay, and again, these took some reaching. So, first gripe, and it's not even really a gripe, it's just a feature I wish that it had, and that is the pull-push function on the rotaries for your, like, for example, flying the A320, you pull the altitude bug and, go to open descent, push it, you go to manage descent, etc. So, it'd be nice to have that. I haven't figured out if that maybe works with the altitude button yet, but just something that, to complain about, because I gotta come up with something. Other thing is, there is a bug with the heading bug. When you go to turn the heading bug, it only moves in 10-degree increments. Now, with that being said, I'm going to get to this at the end of the video. There is a fix for this. Okay, someone has already published a fix. Gripe number 2, and this is what RMAG fixed for us. Default out of the box, hooking it up, you jump into Microsoft Flight Simulator. Axis number 2 does not work. Now, I'll let his video show you guys how it's done, but real quick, literally the only thing you have to do is unbind it, rebind the axis, works just fine. Okay, and then there was an issue also with on the left rotary, we're selecting the system. Each time you would pass through vertical speed, it would either engage or disengage the vertical speed mode depending on what mode it was currently in. So, for example, if vertical speed mode was off and you went through vertical speed, let's say you were going back up to and you want to change your altitude, so you had to set the system to altitude. As you pass by vertical speed, it would turn vertical speed mode on. However, there's a fix for that as well. That's just a key binding bug. RMAG again solves the problem. Link down in the description below. Setting up the controls, watch his video. Absolutely watch his video on the setup, because he does something that's very systematic, very fluid. You create your own profiles for each of the different types of aircraft. So whether it be simple, so just throttle and mixture, single complex, throttle prop mixture, dual engine, as you see here, dual engine jet, 4-engine jet, and he even did an independent profile for the TBM 930 to get the throttle back into idle cutoff when you're done. Other than that, my gripes would be, as nice as the material is, it feels very good in the hands. I live in the desert. I live in Arizona, so dust, dirt, etc. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt to keep clean. And with that being said, that's probably my only gripe about the honeycomb texturing they did on the, for example, you can see the red lighting coming out of there on the flight yoke. It's got this like honeycomb texture, okay, and I get it, they're from Honeycomb, but cleaning it, pain in the rear end, okay, and just like any other electronic, you don't want a ton of dust in it. But guys, that is really the best I can do as far as coming up with complaints. Like I said, I love the tension on it. The tension ability on all 7 axes, are amazing. There are already people coming out with modifications for like the flap handles for the 737. That way it's got the gates. I'll show you guys those in a second as well, and a link where you guys can look into that. Just everything feels so good. These two items are so great together. They are a flight simmer's dream. Honeycomb could have very easily charged double for each of these units, and people would have paid for them, and they would have been worth it. But Honeycomb's mission, if you guys have ever seen it, the CEO of Honeycomb blatantly said that his goal was to create an affordable, high-quality flight simulation product, and they nailed it. Again, I was already giddy and excited. I mean, this thing wasn't supposed to show up at my house till Monday, so I drove down to the FedEx office to get it. That's how bad I wanted this thing. And man, I could not have been prepared for what I got. It's so amazing. And I've never been this avid about any kind of electronic before as I am with this thing. The two together is a flight simmer's dream. I can't say that enough. But anyway, so now let's go into a couple things that I do want you guys to see before you start. All right, so first is a tool that you guys want to have anyway. This thing is awesome. It's called FS Tool. You can adjust the sim rate in there. It's got mapping profiles for joysticks, etc. And you want to read the instructions very carefully when when using the profile for the Bravo Throttle Quadrant. Now, it's only got a few settings. They can be changed, but what it does do is it fixes that heading bug issue I was telling you about. Okay, where you turn just a heading bug and only goes in 10-degree increments. He fixed that with this tool. Okay, it's got a profile in. Again, there are instructions down in the description of this. But again, you just install it and run it, and boom, next you know, your heading bug works exactly as designed. You can go in single-digit increments without an issue. So again, link down in the description below. Very awesome tool, and it fixes a problem with the Bravo Throttle Quadrant. But I would recommend this even if I didn't have the Bravo. Speaking of the Alpha and Bravo flight controls, they are $249.99, guys. You're starting to be able to find them in more and more places. Careful on eBay. People are racking them for $500, $600. Don't do that. That's not what Honeycomb wanted. He specifically launched this thing to be affordable. $249.99 for each unit, $500 for both. Okay? Last but not least, make sure you guys check out our mag site. You guys can see multiple videos here, right there on the bottom left on the second, or in the left side second row. He goes through all 5 profiles. If you read the descriptions, he's got a bunch of different fixes and things like that for the Bravo, step by step. Give him a shout out, give him a like and subscribe. He did amazing work, really helped me out and saved me a ton of time. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it's giving you something to think about. Again, if you're in the market for flight equipment, I can't stress enough, get a hold of these two if you need it. They're the best deal, the best bang for your buck by far. I cannot stress that. I've had a Satec flight yoke, I had a CH flight yoke, and they are absolute junk compared to this for the same price. So guys, if you can get it, grab them. If they're not available, just be patient. They will come around again, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care, folks.